masters. Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Hey guys, Lead Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So here we're gonna watch Top Wug's budget Uber kill, also using Poison Strike. That is a sick Ami. This gives me a chance to correct some information from the last video. The items that were different were the amulet, both rings, and the boots. The boots were Water Walks, and the amulet was Nokazans, which you just have to have because you have to hit 90 fire res. The rings were, one was a Nature's Peace, obviously, because he had an Oak Sage, and the other was a Dwarf Star, which is just an incredibly solid ring for any class, especially a Necromancer who gets 2 health per Vita point. So if you can get 40 life for free, that's kind of insane. All the other gear is exactly the same. Shitty helm, good enough armor, right? Like, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's got a good core. It's not as good as a socket, but it's cheaper than a socket, and it does kind of the same thing. P rubies are just the best budget items. They just give you life for nothing, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't find P rubies. That sucks. So anyways, we're going to watch the Poison Strike Uber kill. And if you followed my shitty tier list guide that was made on the spot because I was upset at other tier list guides, you might have noticed I put Desecrate as like S or S minus for Ubers, and didn't give really a ranking for anything else, because we kind of just assumed Desecrate would be the best Uber killer again for Necromancer. And basically, the way Poison Strike functions, and the way Poison functions as a skill set, is that you don't really need more plus skills. Like, yes, Desecrate benefits from plus skills more than any other skill, almost as much as Poison Strike. You can't deny that. The problem is, the most important thing for Poison, like basically any element, is going to be percent mastery and pierce. And since we don't really need to worry about plus skills, then we can run a build that supports both Poison Strike and Desecrate. So basically, we put ourselves in an option or a position where we can use both skills. For instance, right now he's just casting Desecrate randomly to kill some ads, and then he's casting Desecrate on Mephisto. Blizzard is a problem, and that's what makes actually attacking Mephisto with Poison Strike kind of challenging. And right here, we're even using Poison Nova. And if you were just running some typical Desecrate build without a D-Web, now if you had a D-Web, it would be a bit different, you might not be able to cast Poison Nova because you'd be doing no damage. But when you use a weapon like Venom, you get to cast the Poison Nova that has, minus 30 Poison Pierce on it. That's not that bad. I'm still a huge fan of Gargoyle's Bite. The problem with Gargoyle's Bite is it's kind of more of a budget mapping weapon because you can't cast Poison Strike because it needs a dagger. Do I think Poison Strike should be able to use Gargoyle's Bite? Sure. I guess it would make Venom pointless, but I just like Gargoyle's Bite because it's always been kind of a cool budget item for Poison Necros, and Poison Necros have had very little shine basically since Season 1 because it's just been too hard to make them. So let's go back to the fight. With Mephisto, you can actually Poison Strike and kite him, except for the Blizzard, which causes issues. For Diablo, I'm surprised he's actually not attacking him more often. But Diablo can pose problems for a Necromancer. Of course, there's the fire on the ground, and then there's the Lightning Nova, whatever Lightning Hose attack, and that thing is pretty brutal. Half light, half physical, ticks pretty hard. Tick abilities in this game were just all very damaging. As you can see right now, he's got the perfect position for Diablo, where he can basically cheese the entire fight and not have to worry about mechanics. That's one of the reasons why playing Poison Necro is pretty good for this fight budget. Now, it's still not as budget as Clay Golem Revive. And let's just talk about that real quickly, because people might go, I thought you said the best budget Necro would be Budget Revives, Clay Golem 10 CM. Yes, it is. There's no way you can compare the two. This build has a maul and a weapon. It's got pretty good train pieces. It's got actually a pretty nice amulet, to be honest, and a couple of skillers. I don't think a torch yet. I think he has a torch. I'm sorry. Well, he's got it because he has the Annie already. So the thing that Clay Golems gives you is you can do Clay Golem Ubers at like plus 10 skills. You don't even need plus 15, and you can get plus 15 from just shopping for a bit and picking up random magic items on your way to hell. And then you just, you cast Uduars that come up from the Desecrates, you cast a few Clay Golems, you kill everything. Let's move on a little further. As you can see, Poison Striking even a Venom Lord looked incredibly scary. And then the last thing I want to touch on is Bale does not spawn ads, but the other two do. I've always been convinced the more I cast Desecrate, the less ads are spawned. Do I have any proof of that? No. But it's just been my feeling of it. So what is the big thing about Poison Strike as we're moving forward? Well, it looks like because poison skills don't really need plus skills, like any element, they're very dependent on Pierce and Mastery, especially Poison, because when you reduce an enemy's poison resistance below 0, it increases duration. We're basically only worried about Pierce. So when we target those items that benefit Poison Strike with Pierce, we're still getting a good Poison Nova, we're still getting a good Desecrate. So that means it's looking like the best Necro for Ubers and Rathma is going to be Poison Strike Necro. Now, you won't always cast Poison Strike. As you can see in this video, although he could have done it more often, but the more budget you are, the less you can afford attacking an enemy in Ubers. Also with Declone or with Rathma, there's going to be many positions in the fight where you just can't Poison Strike, like the Blood Golem spawns, the Sanguine Golems. No way. But what you can do is switch between the two. So anyways, Poison Strike basically gives Necros a very versatile build to do Declone, Ubers, and Rathma if you have a couple of runes to spend. Alright guys, Skelly King out. GG.
Come play with us. Come play with us, Daddy.